You made a great observation on these two movies that I really didn't think about until you told me it. So I think it's only fair that you actually pitch your thought on the comparison between these two movies.
So yeah, we've been watching the Oscar films so that we could do a video on ranking the Oscar films for this channel. And we watched Banshees of Inisherin and The Fabelmans back to back. So that's the only reason they were both in my head. And the message of each movie, so the message of The Fabelmans, slight spoilers coming, I won't get into plot details, but the message of that film is Spielberg chose art over family. He's choosing his directing and his passion over his mother. And, you know, it's a hard choice to make, and that was seen as a morally positive message, would you say? It's seen in a positive light.
It's seen in a positive light of it's a great sacrifice, but sometimes that sacrifice needs to be made.
Right. And so Banshees of Inisherin, that film is a complete metaphor about the Irish Civil War. So at first, it's like, why do these two movies oppose each other? A thought came of the plot point in Banshees of Inisherin, although it's not the focus. Yes, it's a big metaphor, and a lot of it is to show the parallels between the war and what's going on in this fake island that the director made. But the film starts with the antagonist, Colm, not wanting to be friends with our protagonist, played by Colin Farrell, saying, I don't want to be friends anymore. And the reason for that is that he wants to focus on his art.
Yeah.
He wants to completely focus on he wants to become a good player on the, what was it, banjo or guitar, whatever it was?
Fiddle.
His fiddle. He wants to become a good fiddle player and literally is cutting off his friend.
He cuts off a lot of things.
That's such a great point. I led you right into that perfect line.
Oh, yeah.
That was great. So just like Spielberg's movie with The Fabelmans, both of them have this theme of choosing art over friends, family. And so Spielberg's Fabelmans shows that in more of a positive, uplifting light, whereas Banshees, although the focus is on the metaphor of the war, it shows how that's a bad thing and causes strife of, hey, you don't need to completely cut off your friends and family and cut off your fingers, and hyperbolizes the whole thing. But I just thought that was interesting that both show that and in different lights.
I believe there's actually a line, slight spoilers for Banshees, by the way, but there's a slight line where they talk about how the main antagonist, Colm, says that who's going to remember you in 50 years? Who's going to remember you in X many years? And I believe someone comes up like, yeah, but who's going to remember your art either? Like, ultimately, who cares? Who cares about, like, your whole thing is trying to be remembered. And that's why it's important to cut off your friends and cut off family, that the art is most important. But ultimately, who even remembers that? So you might as well, be kind to your friends. And yes, that's like completely surface level for the metaphor of the Irish Civil War. So I know it's not the focal point.
Right.
But it still is interesting that is diametrically opposed position between these two Oscar movies.
Now, which movie did you like better between the two? Did you like Banshees or did you like The Fabelmans?
Oh, Banshees is a better movie, but I may have enjoyed Fabelmans more.
Oh.
Like, I would rewatch Fabelmans again. Banshees, both of them kind of had a similar thing for me, where there were parts where I was bored at, and then other parts I was just really riveted. With the Fabelman, anytime when it was mostly on the family and Spielberg himself, I was a little bored. But when it was on him actually making movies, it was just so riveting. It was great.
Yeah.
Banshees also had moments where a lot of it was dull, and it's because of my ignorance of history that I don't get all the references to the Irish Civil War. But when I got the references, and there are certain moments in that film that really glued me to my seat. So they're both similar to me. But I have to give the edge to Banshees.
Banshees is very much a dark comedy, and it's very gloomy, and you feel lonely. Whereas with The Fabelmans, it's all the family's too perfect for a lot of the movie until it starts elevating and you get into the final act.
Until there's drama. Yes.
Until there's drama, but it's like the perfect family that falls apart. So it's just neat to look at the two back to back. But in our rankings, we'll see which one you put ahead of the other.
Yeah. For once, I'm actually looking forward to the Oscars, which haven't been able to say that for a while. If you guys like what we're talking about, just go ahead, hit subscribe button, comment down below, and tell us what you guys think of both of those movies. And I guess we'll catch you guys in the next video.
Let us know if this whole thing was crazy. Are these two movies diametrically opposed with one another? Yeah, comment. Thanks for watching.
Bye.
Bye-bye.